Why we need physical media for music preservation. This video will be divided into 5 topics that support the need for physical media. 1. Music being distributed to digital streaming services such as Spotify or YouTube Music, but later being removed. 2. Official music releases that were never officially put on the internet. 3. Uploads only existing because of physical media. 4. Potential streaming service shutdowns, and 5. Lost album art. Alrighty, for a deep dive into topic number 1, music being distributed to digital streaming services but later being removed. As unlikely as this sounds, it does happen, and I myself can name 3 instances specifically off the top of my head where this has occurred. The first instance being the removal of the song Promise by Idle Threat off of streaming platforms. One day recently, I wanted to listen to it, so I looked it up on YouTube and it was gone, but the rest of the EP was present on YouTube. This had me scratching my head, so I said to myself, I wonder if it's still on Bandcamp, as I had bought the EP off of Bandcamp a while back. I go to Bandcamp, and it's gone, disappeared like a fart in the wind, and while I don't use Spotify, I also peeked over there to see if the song had been removed. And yep, No Promise by Idle Threat on Spotify. Now before we go any further, here's a picture of the song in my music downloads on an old phone of mine where I had downloaded it years ago. And while I'm not sure if I can legally play the song on this video, I submit this picture as proof that the song exists and I'm not losing my mind. Why this song was randomly delisted from streaming platforms? I have no idea, but this now means that the only people who can legitimately listen to this song are people who bought the CD while it was still in print, or people like myself who downloaded it off of Bandcamp while it was still available. My second example of music being removed from streaming services is the band Vase. I believe it was last year, but their entire discography was removed from all streaming services due to legal issues, as the band had a lawsuit over who owned the rights to the band and their music, and the end result was their music being delisted from all platforms. In other words, you can't stream their music anymore, but I happened to buy and download a couple of their songs before this removal. But again, their music can no longer be accessed via streaming platforms, so the only people who can enjoy their tunes are people like myself who downloaded a couple of their songs, or someone who happened to buy a CD, and I'm honestly not sure if they ever had a compact disc release or not. The third specific scenario that I'm aware of where music was pulled from streaming platforms was the EP The Album's Off by the Muckrakers. This happened a few years ago. I remember going to stream one of their songs on YouTube one day, and it was gone, and it was later removed off Spotify as well, but the official music video released with the EP was still up. Confused, I reached out to the guitarist on Twitter, back when it was still Twitter, to inquire about this product removal. He was confused as well and had no idea what I was talking about and said he'd get back with me. Later that day, he informed me that the fruits of his research was that the distributor that they hired to put out the EP had gone out of business, and the result of this was that all music the distributor had put on the internet had to be delisted. Now thankfully, he hired another distributor and quickly had the EP back on major platforms, but the Muckrakers lost their streaming platforms for the initial release, sadly. So, who knows how many songs were pulled off of streaming platforms that day, and while thankfully I was able to bring this to the band's attention and it was quickly fixed, imagine if I hadn't have noticed it, or if I had said nothing, or if the band had gone inactive. That would have been an entire EP removed off all major streaming platforms, and the only thing that would have been left would have been CDs that they had sold. I believe this release had a physical release, or downloads that people had acquired before the removal. While these are 3 instances I can specifically name, I also remember a metal band I used to listen to randomly pulled an old EP off streaming services for some unspecified reason, and I seem to recall seeing some news article that a song by a big rapper disappeared off Spotify for a few days, and the given reason was accidental removal. In conclusion, for topic 1, we need physical media for preservation because music can be, and has been, removed from streaming platforms, making this music inaccessible to those fully reliant on online releases. Okay, on to topic number 2, official music releases that were never officially put on the internet. While nowadays it's extremely uncommon for an artist to officially release music without being uploaded to the web, but there is still a lot of music that was never officially uploaded to the internet and only exists because of physical releases. For example, Evanescence actually released multiple albums and EPs before they were signed and made it big. They also never uploaded said releases to any streaming service as far as I can tell, and while fans have uploaded these tunes to good old YouTube, said fans were able to upload these how? By having a physical CD and being able to transfer files from that. Or music that has simply never seen the internet ever. I used to be friends with a guy who was in an indie metal band during the early 2000s, and while his band did actually release a full album, it was never uploaded to the internet as far as I can tell. He said that he never uploaded it after his band broke up, and I could not find official or fan uploads anywhere, meaning that his music only lives on through the limited batch of CDs that they put out. And who knows how many indie CDs are floating around that have never been put on the internet, being only accessible through CDs. Probably in the thousands at least. And on a similar note, topic number 3 of why we need physical preservation is that a lot of the music on streaming platforms is only on said platforms because of physical preservation. Take literally any artist who put out music before the internet came into existence. Boston, Stryper, Bon Jovi, the Beatles. The only reason their music was able to be uploaded to the internet is because of what? Physical preservation. Be it vinyl records, cassette and 8-track tapes, CDs. These are all to thank for a large chunk of tunes available on streaming platforms to this day. If it wasn't for physical preservation, so many great songs and albums would have just been lost if these albums hadn't been recorded and preserved on things like records. Changing topics to topic number 4 as to why we need physical preservation for music, music streaming platforms can and have shut down, or contracts expire, rendering platforms useless to some users. While the thought of Spotify or iTunes disappearing is a pretty silly thought in 2025, it's possible. For example, Microsoft's Groove Music shut down in 2017, I believe, so people who relied on it for streaming music, oh well. Or the much lesser known Freegal Music, a music streaming service that partners with libraries to allow users to access ad-free streaming and free music downloads. To the best of my knowledge, Freegal is still up and running, but my library let their contract expire with them, meaning I lost access to what is probably the most underrated streaming service on the planet. Seriously, it was great. Although held back by a smaller library than Spotify or YouTube Music, it was ad-free and I got 5 free song downloads a week. How cool is that? Or another example, I can't remember the name of it sadly, but there used to be a legit website where my mom would purchase MP3 downloads, and the website shut down several years ago for unspecified reasons. So basically, if you rely solely on digital media for music, especially online streaming, you are running the risk that the platform that you rely on could just vanish someday. But if you have a CD, you're not reliant on the internet or a streaming platform staying in business. My last main point in why we need physical preservation for music is the potential of lost art and people missing out on art. And here I mean things like cool CD art, sick lyric sheets, and just album design in general, if that makes sense. If you've only ever streamed your favorite artist's tunes and never used a CD or a cassette tape, who knows what kind of cool history that you've missed out on. And I guess that wraps up my main points of why we need physical preservation for music. Now, of course, I'm not against streaming or digital music, and of course there are many risks involved with physical media as well. Breaking or losing a disc or a tape, having it stolen, not having enough space, and having to pay for it, of course, unlike most streaming services being gratis at the cost of ads, and simply have ad-free tunes as a premium option. But as someone who uses both physical and digital media, I think we need both, and they really do complement each other. Would I spend $10 on a CD so I can listen to one song? No. But would I pay that same fee to have a hard copy of my favorite albums and gain the ability to listen to them without ads? If I can afford it, probably. So yeah, not my best written video, I will admit, but a video I want to make, discussing how we shouldn't fully rely on digital media and the internet for enjoying music and music preservation, and I wanted to shine a light on some of the risks involved with relying entirely on digital media. Anyways, that's all for me for today. I guess that I've gone on long enough. I hope somebody enjoyed this video. Feel free to tell me your thoughts in the comments and why you agree or disagree with me. And as always, none of my content is made by AI. I make my own videos, and I do not give my consent for my voice or likeness to be replicated by AI in any way, shape, or form. I hope everyone has a great day. Always remember that Jesus loves you all. Peace.